I, Aisha Jumwa Katana, do hereby swear to testify on all matters in question and tell this committee the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. The membership of this committee is the Speaker of the National Assembly as the chair, Senator Moses Masika Wetangula. I'll invite all other members to introduce themselves, starting with the Deputy Speaker.
My name is Gladys Voss, member for Wasingishu County, and also Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Welcome.
Majority.
Aisha Jumwa, member of Parliament, Kikuyu.
My name is Opio and I MP Uguncha.
My name is Junet Mohammed, MP Suna East.
My name is Aaron Baya, MP Kilifi North.
Robert Mbui Kadhiani.
Rahab.
Beham Mukami, County MP Nyeri.
And Kevin Onyonyi, member of Parliament, Kwanza, Trans Nzoia County.
George Gitonga Murugara, member Tharaka Nithi County.
Mheshimiwa, my name is Kosing David, MP Pokot South, West Pokot County.
Abdul Rahim Daud, MP for Nordimenti, Meru County, and a member of this committee.
Naitwa Mheshimiwa Mishi Mboko, mjumbe eneo bunge la Likoni.
Good afternoon, Caleb Amisi, MP Saboti.
Dido Raso, MP Saku.
Abdi Shurie, mbunge wa Barabara.
Mary Emase, mbunge wa Teso Kusini.
Steven Mule, MP Matungulu.
Sula Lesuda, MP Samburu West.
We also have our clerk, represented by Florence. You can introduce your team.
Florence Atenyo Abonyo, Director Committee Services, Directorate of Audit, Appropriations and other select committee. With me, immediate left is Mr. Michael Karuru, who is the Deputy Director, Legal Services, and behind him is the team of officers in the committee secretariat.
We also have many young Kenyans from the media in these proceedings. Honorable Aisha, welcome again. This committee will have a 90-minute discourse with you through the process. It's good to tell you that it's not an adversarial process, it's an inquisitorial process. Questions will be asked to you. We have agreed with members. They have to be concise and precise. And we expect from you equally concise and precise answers. We have encouraged every nominee that even if you ask a question that displeases you, suppress your displeasure and just answer it. And we have also agreed with members that we are not here to engage in altercations that don't add value to what we are doing. We just want to know your suitability to hold the office to which you have been nominated. These are all your colleagues. You have been in this house with them. So fear nothing, and I'm sure they also fear nothing in communicating with you. When questions are asked, they're asked through the chair. And when you answer, you also answer through the chair, to the extent that we don't want you to engage a member unnecessarily, or to feel that a member is being outlandish in dealing with you. Any member asking questions here are questions of the committee, and the answers are answers to the committee. because at the end of the day, the committee will have a verdict on your suitability. So we'll start by asking you a few things. When I finish, I'll invite you to, in less than 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, tell us the story of your life before we start with the questions. Do you have a compliance with tax obligations to the state, that is the KRA tax clearance?
Yes, I do.
You have furnished it with us?
Yes.
Clearance with the Higher Education Loans Board?
Yes, I do. I submitted.
Clearance with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission?
I submitted.
Certificate of Good Conduct?
It was also submitted.
Have you ever been charged and convicted in a court of law?
I was charged, but not convicted.
Not convicted. Are you a dual citizen, holding a Kenyan passport and a passport of another sovereign?
I am a Kenyan citizen by birth.
Kenyan citizens become dual citizens with other countries. Are you a dual citizen?
No.
No, you are not. Very good. What is your net worth? Himaya yako ni pesa ngapi?
I'm worth 100 million.
100 million. Do you have any current or anticipated sources of income?
Perhaps my pension.
From Parliament?
From Parliament.
Thank you. Now we'll open up the conversation by starting with the story of your life. Try and take at least under 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and honorable members, for giving me this opportunity to be interviewed for this position of the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Gender, and Affirmative Action. Mr. Chairman, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to give glory to the Almighty God for favor and grace on me. With profound humility, I thank His Excellency, the President, for nominating me to this office. It is a great honor bestowed on me, the people of Kilifi, and the women of this country at large. Mr. Chairman and honorable members, my name is Aisha Jumwa Karisa Katana. I am a mother of 3 young adults and a very active and strong supporter of my 52 immediate family members in a very diverse capacity. Mr. Chairman, I have walked a journey that has never been a walk in the park for me to be seated before you and these honorable members today. Mr. Chairman, when I contested and lost the 2007 election for Bahari constituency in the old dispensation, I reflected and took stock. And this is how I made the sacrifice in order to erase the past of ignorance and grace the academic corridors of universities. Mr. Chairman, I went back to school and completed my Kenya certificates of secondary education in 2011. And I proceeded to Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, where I got my certificate in county governance in 2012. And this was followed by an executive master's of leadership and governance from the same institution in 2015. And in 2021, I graduated with a bachelor's of leadership and management from International Leadership University here in Nairobi. And currently, Mr. Chairman, I registered at African Nazarene University for Bachelor's of Laws degree. And Mr. Chairman, a common theme amongst my courses is leadership and governance. And I took the view that I must improve myself intellectually and spiritually in order to serve the community better. Mr. Chairman, as I have told you, I have come from very far. I was born and raised in humble settings in a historical fishing village known as Takaungu in Kilifi North constituency in Kilifi County. And my parents were poor. They used to struggle to provide for me.
Compose yourself, compose yourself. We have all walked the same journey, don't worry.
To provide for me and my 27 siblings. So I went to a local school known as Takaungu Primary from 1993 to 1991. And Mr. Chairman, I proceeded to Ganze Secondary School. Regrettably, I had to drop out due to lack of school fees. And Mr. Chairman, I have touched a little bit about my family. And that explains how we used to struggle and the lack of school fees. So, Mr. Chairman, I was at home. There were absolutely no prospects to expand my horizons. So I was just there. And little did I know the sad fate that most of the rural girls face awaited me with open arms: early marriage. So, Mr. Chairman, I got married off. And in that union, I became a mother of my firstborn. Mr. Chairman, I must say that this is one of the practices that must be curbed, because it's very harmful and painful to the girl child, especially those underage. Mr. Chairman, I was not content to be a housewife. So I took a keen interest to matters affect communities, especially the vulnerable in the society, and becoming a vocal voice in youth, in women, and people living with disabilities. So I decided to join active politics to be able to make transformation in society through policy making. And in 1997, I contested and I was elected the first woman in my community. So I served for 5 years and got re-elected due to my stellar records of development.
Elected to what?
To a councillor. And during my second term, I was elected as the chairperson of Kilifi Town Council. Again, the first woman to head that position, to be in that position. Mr. Chairman, in 2013, I was elected the first woman member for Kilifi in the 11th Parliament and served in various departmental committees of Parliament. And in 2017, I was elected the first woman of a single constituency for Malindi in the 12th Parliament. And also I was in various committees of Parliament and a commissioner of the Parliamentary Service Commission. During my tenure, Mr. Chairman, as the member for Malindi, among other projects, I founded Shomani Girls High School. I am happy because this school was proposed and in the process to be registered a national school. This school has given the girls from humble backgrounds to get quality education, Mr. Chairman. And on the same note, I set aside 10 acres of land under the Aisha Jumwa Foundation for construction of a rescue center for the victims of gender-based violence and teenage pregnancies. Mr. Chairman, we all aware that Kilifi was hit hard on issues of early pregnancies and gender-based violence. This is what triggered me to come up with that project.
1 minute.
And Mr. Chairman, as I have said that I am a commissioner of the Parliamentary Service Commission and also a chairperson of a commission committee on information and public communication. Today, I'm happy to report that with my fellow committee members of the subcommittee and the commission, we have a paperless and digital parliament. So I take credit on that as a transformative agenda that I spearheaded. Mr. Chairman, in my 25 years in public service, I have served my people passionately, diligently, and with utmost regard of the rule of law. Mr. Chairman, I can confidently say that I have the skills, I have the qualifications, I have the experience to excel in the role, if given the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Aisha Jumwa. That journey has been walked by many, many people in this room. You are not alone.
Thank you.
But now we'll ask you about your suitability to serve in the docket you have been nominated by the President, His Excellency William Ruto. I'll give the first shot to the Deputy Speaker, and like I said, direct questions, direct answers so that we can make good progress. As we do so, when you finish, Secretariat will want to see your original documents. You can arrange to give them thereafter. Okay. Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, Honorable Aisha Jumwa, I first want to congratulate you upon your nomination for position of Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action. I was also choking with tears when I heard your story. Every time I hear it, and I've heard it many times. And that's an amazing journey. I want to ask you something that is the story of every woman in Kenya and many women. And it's a question that I have received many text messages from the women of Kenya. As a woman leader, they look up to you and people like me to answer this question. So one is, what will you do? They say, what will Aisha Jumwa do to be able to curb the challenges that women face? One of them is teenage pregnancies. The other one is gender-based violence. The other one is the high rate of dropout of girls in schools because of lack of sanitary towels, something as basic as that. They want to know what special empowerment programs you have for women, and lastly, what will you do about the 2/3 gender rule that has been very elusive in Kenya? Thank you.
Aisha, you note the questions?
Yeah.
We will be asking you in batches of 4, then you answer them in that order. Majority Leader?
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable Aisha, we are in receipt of 2 affidavits. I'm sure you're privy to the issues that have been raised there. And one of the issues raised is that you have been charged with the murder of Kumbao Jola during campaigns in 2019 in Malindi. And you had also been charged with the fraudulent misappropriation of about 57 million shillings from NGCDF Malindi. My question is, do you own a gun? And have you ever handled one? That's my first question. The second question, maybe you can apprise us on the status of these cases, and if you are to be found guilty in either of those cases, would you be willing to take responsibility? Thank you.
Minority Leader?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And welcome, Honorable Aisha Jumwa. Mr. Chair, I know I've worked closely with Honorable Aisha Jumwa in ODM for a long time, until the last election when we parted ways, which is normal. But then today I would only perform the task that is entrusted on us as a committee, which is to ask 1 or 2 questions. Just for clarification, really, in my view. We have seen your testimonials or academic certificates. I just want you to clarify how you are able to get the Executive Master in Business Administration, EMBA, from JKUAT in 2015 before attaining your bachelor's degree in 2021 at this other university, international or something. Let me just be sure I'm mentioning what is correct. Yes, African what? International Leadership University. Yes, see, I thought that in academics you graduate from secondary, first degree, probably a second degree, master's, PhD, and so on and so forth. Because I also happen to have earned that same degree from JKUAT some time back. And I remember the condition was that I must present a degree certificate before I could be admitted to that course. Just help us understand that. Okay? Thank you for now. I don't know if I'm speaking, we allow her to answer that. We allow her to answer that before I can ask her second question.
Just ask your second question. She's noting.
Okay. The second question, Honorable Aisha Jumwa, is your vision for the public service in the Republic of Kenya. Probably in very few words, if you can help us understand. Thank you.
Those are 3. The 4th, Robert Boy.
Thank you, Chair and Speaker. Now, I would like the nominee, having been nominated to serve in a high public office, and having been also very visible in public in the campaign trail, and having been a leader for a long time, and noting, Chair, that Chapter 6 of the Constitution is very clear about leadership and integrity, read together, of course, with the Public Officer Ethics Act. I want to bring the attention of this committee to one Nancy Baraza, who was Deputy Chief Justice, whose crime at one time in one of the malls was to poke her finger on the nose of a security guard, and that cost her her job. Now, the nominee in question here has been named in several cases. A case to do with murder that occurred in a home of an opponent where she stormed together with her team, a case of misappropriation of NGCDF funds, a civil case by a Mr. Devshi Naran Kambi for fraudulent acquisition of his land, and not to forget numerous verbal altercations, Mr. Speaker, that we have seen publicly. And also noting that this was a nominee of the ODM party to the Parliamentary Service Commission who went against the wishes of that party for the last 5 years. Are your transgressions, are her transgressions any less than that which was committed by Nancy Baraza? And is she willing to be fair and accept the challenges of this leadership and integrity chapter and maybe step aside from this position?
Aisha, answer those four.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And perhaps I should start with one for Honorable Jumwa. Honorable Jumwa, I don't own a gun, and I have never in my life applied for a gun. The second one is to appraise on the cases or to inform the committee on the cases that are in court. Mr. Chairman, it is in the public domain that, as I have been saying, these cases were politically motivated, and I still stand strong and saying it again here that they were politically instigated, and I'm happy because this country is a country of laws. The DPP dropped the case that is touching on the misappropriation of funds for the NGCDF. And on the second issue of the murder case, Mr. Chairman, first I want to empathize with the family. Indeed, there was a loss of life. It was unfortunate. But again, Mr. Chairman, as I have said, I am clear in my mind that I never shot anyone because I don't own a gun. I'm not a gun holder, and I don't know even the names of the guns in this country. The weapons that this country possesses, I don't know the names. So, also there are 3 witnesses that so far have testified in court, and none of these witnesses mentioned my name. And again, there was a ballistic report which is in the public domain that my name was not in any way mentioned on the same. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to say I am innocent, as the Constitution suggests the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. I still hold on that, Mr. Chairman. And on the issue of my bachelor's, my executive before the bachelor's, Mr. Chairman, this is not a master's degree, but it was a special course that we were given after doing our certificate in county governance, and I think it's a course that is recognized, and that is how I got admitted to do my bachelor's in International Leadership University. That is the much I can say, Mr. Wandai. And you've asked me, Oshima Wandai, through the chair, to say a little word about the vision to the public service. Mr. Chairman, I want to say that my vision to the ministry and the public service is to make sure that, is to see a public service that is citizen-focused, and flexible with a national outlook. Mr. Chairman, Mheshimiwa Mbui Robert, I think by answering Mheshimiwa Kimani Chungwa, I have also served your question. Mr. Chairman, I want to now take Madam Sholei's question on early pregnancies, GBV. Madam Sholei and Deputy Speaker, GBV is in many forms, including the early pregnancies. And as a victim, as I have said in my opening speech, this is something that it is an issue that if given the opportunity to head this docket of public service, gender and affirmative action, I'll be making sure that a program is rolled on matters engaging the communities and more so the parents and families. Because on the matters of early pregnancies, from my experience, is that these sometimes happen even in our homes with people that we know better, like our uncles and sometimes our dads. So this is something that it needs a robust engagement with the communities and making sure that an amicable and a long-term solution is offered by the ministry that I'll head. And on the sanitary pads, I want to say that during the signing of the Charter on Women with our President, I want to say that this was broadly mentioned, and our President, through the ministry, fund will be set aside to make sure that sanitary pads are available and girls remain in school. And also, on the two-third gender parity, I'm aware because we have tried as a nation to making sure that this is realized, but it is not a one-man show. It has to be. I will have to bring together all the ministries and parastatals and the yes, including Parliament, to making sure that this is realized, Mr. Chairman, because on the appointive, in this line, things are working well, but when it comes to elective positions, there's a challenge. And we have tried, and if given this opportunity, I will come back to Parliament to actually see already the bills that were proposed. There's Duale Bill 1 and 2, there's Sholei and Chepkonga. So I think bringing this together and new ideas that I will bring forward with partners, I think, Mr. Chairman, this might perhaps give a new life.
Yes, Robert Mbui.
Chairman, thank you, Chairman, for the indulgence. Because these proceedings are live and people heard my question, I would like to just clarify that she didn't really answer my question because she hasn't addressed the matter of PSC, she has not addressed the matter of the civil case on the land matters, and the comparison between her transgressions, minor as they may be, versus Nancy Baraza's. Thank you, Chair.
On the land matter, Mr. Chairman, I'm aware that there was an agreement. I was buying a property from Naran, and there was a dispute, and this matter was is in court, and I don't want to discuss the merits and demerits of the matters. So I think I will leave it there, and there's also affidavit that I've also done on the same in matters, my response.
Yes, Juliet. I thought you had...
No, I wanted to contribute.
You want to...
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll give you, then Owen, on this side, Mary. I thought we agreed in our ground rules that there's no soliciting. Yes, and Mukami.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. There's another question from Robert on the verbal utterances. Yeah, I want to tell my brother that I have learned since I was mentioned by my name was mentioned by His Excellency on this docket. I tried to learn some few things from the ministry, and I've learned some their terminologies that I want to share with you, and that I will carry when given the opportunity. There's a word known as dignified silence, and a high level of tolerance, and restraint. So I think that was then. Going forward, I will be behaving like a CS for public service and gender. Dignified silence.
And high level of tolerance.
And high level of tolerance, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, let's take the next back. Junet, Owen, Emase, and Mukami.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to admit that Aisha Jumwa Katana is also my friend. We have done politics together, but today we are on another suitability, another thing that you've said. So, Chair, the question I wanted to put to the nominee is that, Chair, I know that she has given us her background and her story, and I sympathize with, I empathize with her. That's the journey of all of us. Even some of us went through the same journey to where we are. But, Chair, she is now joining the cabinet of the Republic of Kenya. She's not going to that other offices that she talked about. And Chair, the cabinet is one of the highest, decision-making organ of the country. For that reason, it has to have the right men and women who can deal with things effectively and properly as required by the law. Chair, if you look at the documents presented by Honorable Aisha to this committee, one of the documents that was required is certificate of good conduct. Certificate of good conduct. Good conduct. But that certificate of good conduct is saying she has a murder case. I agree with her, some of these cases might be politically instigated. But Chair, now that those matters are before a competent court of law, the court will decide. The courts have brains also. They will say this has no evidence, this was politically instigated, and they will dismiss the case. Don't you think, through the Chair, Madam Nominee, that is good for this country, for the image of this country at the level of the cabinet, for you to stay aside until those cases are determined by the courts, so that after that, when you are clean now, because even the people who have the cases against you, like Ngumbao Jola, what do you think they are feeling today when you are seated here, we are vetting you for a cabinet position, and they have no recourse for the death of their father? And look at the Constitution, Article 73. Authority assigned to state officers is a public trust to be exercised in a manner that demonstrates respect for the people, brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office. That is the office of the Cabinet Secretary. And lastly, promotes public confidence in the integrity of the office. Do you think when all these cases are hanging, and I'm not judging you, I'm not saying you're guilty of those cases, but I've told you they are before a competent court of law, and I'm sure the court will decide. Don't you think you will not attract dignity and integrity to the office you want to occupy when those cases are on your neck? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Speaker and Chair. Aisha Jumwa, you come from a very humble background, a difficult background indeed, but you've beaten a lot of odds because of your strength, and today you're here. You have also been accused about many things, and they still come, those accusations, but even Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were accused of the same things before they became president and deputy president. So I want you to take courage, but also to ask you, where do you draw your strength such that you're here today after such a long journey? Thank you.
Chair, now that we are in public vetting, Chair, through you, my colleague has said that President Uhuru and President Ruto, those ones were going for elective positions when they have those cases. What we are discussing now here is a appointive position. Yes.
Chair, through Chair, I want to tell Honorable Junet, it is one and the same. They are serving the same Kenyans.
Your chances will come. Baya, have you finished?
No, I'm still finishing. So my first question is, where do you
I'll indulge you with one more. Just ask one more.
Yes, so where do you draw your strength, and how would you use your strength in running a ministry if you are appointed, if this committee confirms you? Secondly, you have been a member of parliament, a women MP, including a commissioner. These are very high-profile jobs. What experience do you bring to the public service ministry after serving in all this as you go forward? Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Point of order, Mr. Chair. It's not my wish to interrupt at this point.
You need clarification?
Yes, yes. Mr. Chair, a while back I asked a question and it was answered, but I just want to bring to your attention. I've just been able to lay my hands on this copy of the degree certificate that was tendered by my friend, the Honorable Aisha Jumwa. In fact, this must be clarified, even by the university perhaps, because the degree is very clear that this is Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, and this is to certify that Aisha Jumwa Karisa Katana, having satisfied all the requirements for the award of the degree of Executive Master of Leadership and Governance, was admitted to the degree at a congregation held at this university on Friday, on that 2015. Mr. Speaker, on the face of it, this is a degree certificate. I'm on a point of order.
I'm also
yeah, I just want to be guided, yes, Mr. Speaker, because this is a House of Records, and we are dealing with a national issue before live TV.
Members, you have something to say. We agreed on the ground rules. Raise your tongue. I will notice you and give you after the Honorable Nine.
Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, it requires further clarification, either from the nominee or from the university, whether this is a mere certificate, course, or an executive master of leadership and governance, which is a degree according to this certification. So that is important.
Yes, she will note that, you will answer that question.
Yes.
Yes, Morgana, what did you want to say? It's not enough for you to mumble to your neighbor.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think this is in the public knowledge. It's in the public domain. What this executive master of whatever it is, given by Jomo Kenyatta, given by Moi University, these actually are not academic certificates. These are sort of honorary to businessmen, to leaders, to people like this. Because I've also witnessed that, in fact, many people have been given this, not through the academic path, but through some short courses that you enlist, you pay fees for, then you get awarded. So really, we can't make an issue. Even the title itself is crazy. It's executive master. It's not a master's degree. anything. It's something that is decorative in nature.
Let's proceed, gentlemen and ladies, honorable members. At the end of the day, you will have a say on this degree, number one. Number two is not the foundation upon which he has been nominated to this position. So it's really, if it turns out not to be a genuine degree, it's neither here nor there. We leave it to the agencies that deal with matters of this nature. The very most we can do is ask the quality assurance in education agency to tell us what it is.
That's a requirement.
Like I said, there is no requirement to have a degree to be nominated to be a cabinet minister. That is one. And number two, if the Honorable Aisha brings degrees that are not degrees, the consequences are known. Yes. So, Baya, you're finished. Let's go to the next, Emase.
Thank you, Chair. My question to the nominee, I know if we approve you, you will be the substantive minister in the public service. Unemployment is a very serious problem in this country. In fact, we have gotten to a level where questions being asked are, whom do you know where for your daughter or son to secure employment? Actually, it has gotten to a level where even to secure a clerical position in some of these government institutions, you're being asked for some kind of bribe to secure that employment. So, and now the question I want to ask you, there are communities in this country that have been marginalized, like the Teso community where I come from and many other small tribes in this country. So if you do not have a person from that community as a minister, as, I don't know, a CEO, as whatever, it means then that their children would never be employed anywhere. And so poverty will continue. So my question to you, just like I've put it, over the years, recruitment in the public service has been marred by corruption, nepotism, tribalism. The current composition of the public service does not reflect the face of Kenya. What strategies do you have in place, or shall you employ, or what affirmative action are you going to undertake to ensure that equity and equality are seen to be exercised in placements, in recruitment? Thank you.
The last in that batch is the Honorable Mukari.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations for your nomination, Honorable Aisha. I know we worked together and I know the journey was wrong and I know it's not an easy task. I just want to know from you what the special empowerment programs do you intend to put in place as Cabinet Secretary and what impact will they have for women?
Yes, Aisha, can you answer those four?
Thank you.
Including the one by Wandai.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start to maybe give a response to Mheshimiwa Owen Baya on the strength that, or the experience that I have. Mr. Baya, what I can say is that I'm a law-abiding citizen, and now going to this ministry with the approval, Mr. Chairman and members and Parliament. I think the strength that I'll carry is the law, that I will work meticulously guided by the law. So I think that will be one of my strengths. And the other part that you've asked me, that in regards to experience, yes, as I've said, I've been a commissioner of the Parliamentary Service Commission, and we've dealt with so many issues pertaining this institution. And I think there is no big difference in terms of handling matters HR. And I think fairness will be my strength as well in all the departments while handling matters HR. And on Madam Mary Emase on job, on recruitment and job opportunities when arises, I want to say that under Article 232 of the Constitution, when you go down to H, it is H, there is I and G. This says it all, and this is the part that I will always uphold in making sure that, as I have said in my vision, is to making sure that the public service has the national outlook. I know when you look at the public service generally, you will find that there are some tribes in this country which have dominated public service, yet the small tribes or the marginalized or even the marginalized have no space. But I want to commit that if given the opportunity to be the CS for public service, I'll make sure that Kenya is one, and all the tribes will be seen and will be given opportunity. And as you have said properly, Madam Mary, affirmative action policy will be also initiated to making sure that all Kenyans, irrespective of their gender, tribes, religion, are all given equal opportunities. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next batch.
On? Yeah. Sorry. On, Mheshimiwa Junet has said that if I can consider resigning, not?
You can't resign. If
I can't, I was to say that I can't resign when I've not been appointed. What have you said?
I never told you to resign.
Through Chair, maybe you can come up with the question again, Mheshimiwa Junet.
Let's go to the next batch.
I had like reason.
Mishi Mogo. After Mishi, I'll give to Posing. I'll give to Mule. I'll give to young minorities. I'll give to Raso.
Another minority.
Yeah? Let's start.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Hata mimi niseme pia Aisha amekuwa rafiki yangu na pia kufika kiwango kama dada. Na nimemuelewa sana maisha yake, basi na yeye kuyazungumzia mimi nimeyashuhudia maisha yake. Lakini hapa leo tuko kikazi uweza kuangalia uwezo wako katika kubadilisha wizara hii ambayo umetunukiwa iwapo bunge la kitaifa litaweza kukuidhinisha. Swali langu la kwanza ni kwamba kulibuniwa mambo ya huduma center ama center zile ambazo tunapata huduma ya mambo muhimu sana kimsingi kama vile stakabadhi ya kitambulisho, stakabadhi ya pasipoti na stakabadhi zingine muhimu sana. Na katika viongozi wa Kenya Kwanza kuna wengi ambao walikuwa wakipinga sana jambo hili na wakisema ya kwamba jambo hili limekuwa na ufisadi na limekuwa na tetesi nyingi sana. Na hivi sasa wewe umeweza kutunukiwa kupata wizara hii iwapo wabunge watakubali. Je, unaona ya kwamba huduma center ama huduma zile ambazo zinapatikana kupitia huduma center ni muhimu? Na iwapo utafanya mikakati gani ya kuwezesha ya kwamba hizi center ziweze kufika mpaka kule chini mashinani, ili yule Mkenya ambaye hawezi kwenda katika miji mikuu kuweza kupata huduma kama hizi anaweza kuzipata pale chini mashinani. Hilo ni swala langu la kwanza. Swala la pili, hivi majuzi tumeona na tumepata ripoti ya kwamba wasichana wetu wengi kutoka katika taifa letu la Kenya wameweza kwenda kutafuta uajiri katika nchi za nje, haswa katika bara la Asia na haswa nchi za Uarabuni, na tumeona wamepata dhulma nyingi, haswa zile ukatili wa kijinsia, kwa Kiingereza tunasema gender based violence, na tumeona madhara mingi sana yamefanyika, hata kupoteza maisha yao na wengine pia kupoteza haki zao za kimsingi, ikiwa mishahara na ikiwa pia yale mambo ya kimsingi ambayo mfanyikazi anatakana yapate kutoka kwa mwajiri wake. Tunajua jambo hili linaangaliwa sana katika Wizara ya Leba na pia katika Wizara ya Nchi za Kigeni, lakini pia katika wizara yako ambayo inaangalia huduma za umma na linaangalia mambo ya kijinsia na mambo ya hatua ya uthibitisho, ile tunasema affirmative action kwa lugha ya Kiingereza. Je, wewe utaweka mikakati gani ili tuweze kuona ya kwamba wasichana wetu, kwa sababu ajira hapa Kenya ni chache, wataweza kwenda kutafuta ajira na hawatapata dhulma na haki zao za kimsingi zitaweza kuangaziwa? Kwa sababu mara nyingi tumeongea pale bungeni, tumetoa proposal, tumesema kufanywe hivi, kuwe na mabadiliko, lakini mpaka sasa imekuwa donda sugu. Je, donda hili sugu una mikakati gani, Bi Aisha, ukiwa waziri, iwapo wabunge wataweza kukukubalia na kukuthibitisha pale bungeni, utaweza kuiweka? Asante sana.
Thank you, Mish. I've allowed you to take that long because the two young MPs behind you are thoroughly bamboozled by your Kiswahili.
Yeah, thank you.
One question each.
Thank you, Chair.
Just go on and...
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, we are making somebody to a very powerful ministry, Ministry of Public Service, which is guided by, among other things, and very important, credibility, values, performance, and I want the nominee chair to clarify to this committee what she got in Form 4. What was her grade in Form 4? Because, Speaker, with the information which the clerk's office gave us, and I want her to confirm later, because I'm trying to, you see, she's going to be the top of public service, where issues of merit are going to be considered, issues of growth are going to be considered. So, Speaker, I'm asking the nominee to clarify what she got in Form 4 in terms of her qualification.
Mr. Speaker, with your guidance, I suggest that we need to be consistent. The same questions we will ask all other nominees should be consistent. We were not that detailed, and we are not asking other nominees exactly the grade, what they got, so why should we harass the nominee? Yeah, because she's a woman? No.
Chair, she's a woman, that is why they are harassing her.
Chair.
Honorable members, I have no doubt that Aisha is not being harassed and she has the capacity to resist any harassment. What you need to do, Honorable Posing, is if you have a document before you, ask a question on the document.
That's what I'm presenting, Honorable. And I'm being gagged, Chair, protect me. I'm being gagged.
Yes.
I'm being gagged.
Yes.
Because what is before us...
Nobody is gagging you. Remember,
Honorable wants to intimidate me, and I'm really beyond intimidation, Honorable.
Order, Honorable Posing. Nobody will intimidate you. I'll protect you.
Yeah.
You just ask a question, let the nominee answer when her time comes.
Yes, exactly.
If you are challenging her academic qualifications,
yes,
go ahead and do so, and she will be able to answer, and the chair will guide, the committee will make a decision.
I'm asking that, Honorable Chair, because that being the top public service is required of this.
The question.
And the clarification which I'm seeking is what she got in Form 4, because the papers before us is that she got a D- in Form 4. And I'm comparing that, Honorable Speaker, with a degree. You know, and I'm asking myself, if you are in Pokot, for example, can you really get a D- and get a degree? What is the road of getting that degree, Honorable Chair? Brings questions. I want the nominee to clarify what she got in Form 4 and the relationship between that one and the degree she has. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Point of information through the chair is that I know people who have gotten, who have joined university, having gotten a very low mark in KCE. A case example is Kennedy Odede, who is now on the board of USAID. He was a former street boy, did go through high school, but because of the community work he did in Kibra, he went to an Ivy League college, Wesley College in the United States of America.
Point of order,
and so I think it's important that we put that in perspective. Point of information.
Point of order, Chair.
Is that, Honorable Chair, is that to inform who?
Order, Naisula.
Thank you.
Is that to inform who, Speaker?
Thank you.
Naisula, hold on.
Inform me?
Thank you, Chair. You know, by going by your ruling, and I have no doubt in my mind that the Cabinet Secretary nominee is capable of answering questions that have been asked, but it is unfortunate, actually, the members who feel that they need to defend the CS nominee are not doing a service to her because they're making her look like she can't answer her own questions, and I know she can.
She will answer her questions. She will not feel intimidated. And all of you who know Aisha, you can't intimidate Aisha.
Exactly.
Aisha just answer questions, and the quality of the answers you leave to us to judge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I believe we need to continue with
Yes, we proceed. You have asked your question. The next is Mule.
Thank you, Speaker. And I just want to encourage members. We are here to vet nominees. We are not here to defend nominees. Let's maintain our decorum. We will have your time to do your report. This goes to the nominee. Madam Aisha, you know very well you are going to the Public Service Department, which is the largest employee of Kenyans in this country, has a serious, huge bill, and it requires serious reforms, including the unit you'll be heading of gender, whereby I want to hear from you, what proposals do you have for the boy child, how to defend men, and give them opportunities within the government to become equal to the women in this country. Last is your vision for that ministry to resemble what you have just told us, that a citizen-related public service. Thank you.
Well done, Mule. Can we all emulate Mule and ask questions like that? Razo?
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Aisha, in Kilifi County Council, you were councillor and you replaced a man, of course, or I believe. And then you became a member of parliament as a women rep Kilifi. Then you became a member of a single constituency, and I believe you replaced a man. We were with you in 11th and 12th parliament, and you really advocated for the two-thirds gender, where women must be given more affirmative action so that many of them will just walk to parliament. Now, from where you sit, do you still believe in two-thirds gender, or women must fight for their space? Thank you, Chair.
You have 4. Aisha, you can now answer from Mishi, from the Honorable Posing, from the Honorable Mule, and from the Honorable Rasu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On Honorable Posing's question, Mheshimiwa Posing, I thank you for asking me that question, and as I have said that it wasn't easy even for me to score that those marks that you were seeing them there, because I had to take myself to class after dropping in Form 2, struggling as a private candidate, and because I took it to myself as a challenge that I have to be better and serve the community better or serve the society better. So I think I am not even shy because it is in the public domain, but I think that is not a qualification to judge Aisha Jumwa on sitting in the cabinet. I think the person who nominated me to this position did his due diligence and see that I am fit if given, if approved by Parliament. And you know, I represent many who today are looking Aisha Jumwa as a role model, that you can have a D or a D minus and get somewhere to the cabinet. You are talking of the real hustler. And I think Mr. Posing, it's good if you can appreciate me and congratulate me, because
Honorable Aisha, I told you, no direct communication with members through the chair.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I think Posing, and from where he comes from, by the way, from where he comes from, Mr. Chairman, there are challenges, and those girls there, they are looking at him like if you get a D minus, you have no hope in life. That is end of you. I want to encourage those girls from West Pokot that they can get somewhere, looking at me and the effort that I have made to get where I am today. Let them be encouraged and see Mheshimiwa Pokot as an enemy of Mheshimiwa Posing as an enemy of progress.
Answer the other question.
On the order.
Posing, let it pass.
Let it pass.
Let it pass.
She should say on a light touch.
It's on a light touch.
On a later note.
Okay.
On a later note.
Okay.
And I know you are not an enemy of progress.
I'm not.
Yes. Go on, Aisha. You have only answered one out of
Answered one, yes. Honorable Chair, on Mule's question, that laws are not made for men or women. Laws are laws, and I think all the policies that I will initiate in matters defending a boy child or a girl child or men or women, I've said, and I want to tell through you, Mr. Chairman, that we will only have a law that cuts across the gender. So I think you should not be worried. Being a woman and a leader, I understand, and a mother, I understand that there's a boy child to be protected and also a girl child as well. So, Mheshimiwa Mule, I think all that will be done in this ministry will be for the good of Kenyans.
What are you going to do about Chair?
Honorable Mule, you're out of order.
Thank you.
Go on, Aisha. If we ask,
I still believe in the
seek clarification through the chair. Karen.
Mheshimiwa Rasu, through the chair, I still believe and a strong believer of the two-third gender rule as enshrined in the Constitution. And I think there was no single day, if my memories are still fresh, that in Parliament we had a motion to say that women should be let free to come to Parliament. So I think it is a constitutional requirement, and we will stand firm to making sure that is realized. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mishi Mbogo.
Oh, Mheshimiwa Mishi, asante sana. Umeniuliza kuhusu masuala ya huduma. Kwanza nataka niseme ya kwamba ile idea yote ambayo iko nyuma ya huduma centers, na kila ambacho labda nimesikia ukisema Kenya Kwanza walikuwa wanapinga, nikikumbuka vizuri pia wakati huo ni kwamba kilichokuwa kinapingwa ni huduma namba, na mwisho ilidhihirika wazi kutoka kwa koti kwamba huduma namba ilikuwa sio kitu sahihi. Lakini huduma centers ni jambo ambalo kila mtu analiunga mkono, na mimi kama nikipewa nafasi katika wizara hii, leo tunavyozungumza ni kwamba tuko na huduma centers 52 katika taifa letu la Kenya. Na hizi ni centers ambazo ni chache, ikizingatiwa katika manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza ni kwamba ari yetu ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunapeleka huduma mashinani kabisa kwa mwananchi. Na kwa sababu hiyo nataka ni kuahidi ya kwamba mimi katika mipangilio ambayo nitakuwa nayo ni kwamba nitakuwa na mikakati ya kukaa na wabunge, kwa sababu huduma center moja kujengwa hadi kufika kiwango cha kupeana services inagharimu zaidi ya takriban milioni 50 na zaidi. Kwa hivyo kama tunaweza kushirikiana pamoja na wabunge through NGCDF, basi wabunge wachukue nafasi ya kujenga hizi huduma centers. Kama vile Mishi, nataka nikupongeze, maana katika pitapita zangu katika ministry Mishi Mboko umejenga huduma center ambayo inahitaji sasa zile platform na services pale ndani ili wakazi walikwenda waweze kufanya. Nataka nikupongeze sana, pamoja na Mheshimiwa Nyamai pia amejenga kupitia CDF, na nataka niseme ya kwamba tutakuwa na mazungumzo na wabunge tutakapopata nafasi hii kuhakikisha kwamba NGCDF inajenga na wizara inaleta zile huduma ili wakazi wakaweze kupata huduma mashinani kama ilivyo manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza. Na masuala ya kazi za ugaibuni, hasa sana Middle East, ni jambo la kusikitisha sana, kwanza kwa wazazi na wale familia ambazo zimepoteza wale ndugu zetu ambao wameenda kutafuta greener pasture huko ugaibuni. Ukweli ni kwamba katika mikakati ambayo niko nayo kuhakikisha ya kwamba wasichana wetu tumewaempower na kuwapa kazi, katika manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza nafikiri kuna pesa ambazo zimepangwa katika zile za Hustler Fund, pamoja na programs ambazo tuko nazo katika wizara za uwezo na WEF. Tutahakikisha ya kwamba wasichana wetu wengi tumewaingiza katika kufaidika katika fund hizi ili wakaweze kujiajiri katika nchi yao na kufanya biashara katika nchi yao ili kuweza kupata mapato. Pia vile vile ni lazima kama nafikiri taifa kubuni na fatue wabunifu wa nafasi za kazi, kwa sababu wale wanaenda ugaibuni wanaenda kutafuta kazi. So katika mikakati katika serikali ya Mheshimiwa Ruto, nafikiri amezungumza mara nyingi kwamba kazi na ubunifu itakuwa ajenda yake kubwa, ili kuhakikisha kwamba hatupeleki wasichana wetu kule ugaibuni, wasichana ambao hawana skills za kutosha kufanya kazi. Na pia vile vile kupewa mafunzo kwamba unaenda kule na hivi ndivyo inavyotakikana. Pia vile vile cartels, na nimekuja kurealize kwamba katika pite zangu baada ya kutajwa wanaofanya kazi hizi wengi ni watu wakubwa katika serikali. Kwa hivyo umezungumza katika kuhusu mambo ya cartels. Watu wanaopeleka wasichana wetu ughaibuni ni watu wakubwa katika serikali yetu, na huo ushahidi upo. Kwa hivyo nafikiri kushirikiana na Wizara ya Foreign Affairs na Wizara ya Labor tutakuwa na mikakati ya kuziangalia tena zile license zao, ili kuangalia katika, unajua kuna mfano mzuri ni wa masuala ya transport. Gari zinapoanguka unaona kampuni inapokonywa leseni, na sisi tunasema ya kwamba zile kampuni ambazo zimepeleka watoto na kuwadump kule, litakuwa jambo letu la kwanza kulizungumzia katika wizara zetu na pia katika cabinet, kuona kwamba iwapo tutapata nafasi kuona ya kwamba leseni zimeangaliwa tena upya. Asante Bwana Mwenyekiti.
Speaker, clarification for my question, please.
Yes, Mole.
Madam Aisha, I still need to hear from you. What will you do to make sure that the huge wage bill within the public service is brought down and streamline the services and make them lean and effective to the service of Kenyans, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On that particular issue on the wage bill, Mr. Chairman, this is just, I think, a perception, but the reality is that public service is understaffed, and I have the statistics, and I think encouraging productivity in the ministry or in the public service will actually help us to bring down the wage bill. But again, the issue of wage bill, Mr. Chairman, is that you'll find those working in the public service, in the ministry, in the ministries, are people who are not are not drawing a lot from from salaries and other expenses, but those who are drawing much from the public coffer is the people who are working at the parastatals, and this needs to be harmonized. I think that is what I can say, Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Daud Ferdinand Naisola Amisi.
Thank you.
One question each.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Mheshimiwa Aisha Jumwa, it's nice to know that we've got more councillors in this house than before. Mheshimiwa Junet, Mheshimiwa Gikaria, and myself, even Mheshimiwa Mishi is saying she was a councillor as well. So we've come from far. Mheshimiwa Aisha, the public service, I mean, you just said that it is understaffed, but I beg to differ. It is known, it is a giant, like a corporation, but it doesn't work because we've got performance contracting, we've heard about it, but if we go to any public office in the country, Mondays, you do not get them. Public officers, most of them, you do not get them. On Monday mornings, they probably come on Monday afternoons. They work on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Fridays, you hardly get them. So I want to ask you, can they, because there was a time, I remember a long time in public service, where we used to have a 5.5 working day, 5 days and a half on Saturdays where we used to have public service working. Nowadays, it's like as if it's 3 days or less. How are you going to approach that? And performance contracting, is it just on paper, or is there anything really going to be done by you when you go in, because you are a hard worker yourself, you have said it, you've got where you are through hard work. Will you instill the same in the public service? Regarding the gender as well, will you have said about the 2/3, yes, you believe in it, but what approaches are you going to have in achieving 2/3 gender principle in all sectors of public and in Parliament? Will you bring a bill to Parliament to pass that we have gender rule is satisfied? Thank you.
Tadango, I'm here.
Oh.
Look this side. I'll talk in English. There are reports that in the whole country there is a huge reports that actually is teenager pregnancy so much in the country, and you see the county government, which of course you have been there before. How do you control this? Children just dropping out of school at the early age. How are you going to solve that problem?
Thank you. Very good. Fernand, well done for being precise and concise. Naisula?
Thank you, Chair. To the nominee, men must take joint responsibility with women for the promotion of gender equality, making contribution to gender equality in their many capacities, including as individuals, members of families, social groups, and communities. And I just want to pick your mind how you're going to bring the men on board, because you know they're the custodian, mostly the gatekeepers of culture, and even on this 2/3 gender rule, most of the time it is seen as a woman affair. How do we bring men on board so that we can walk this journey of inclusivity together?
Missy?
Thank you, Speaker. And I want to assure you I'm always bamboozled by this Swahili every day they speak, Aisha and Mishi. But I want to ask, I see your document. I don't want to bombard you with these education issues so much, but just out of curiosity, I saw on Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, the name is Abdallah Aisha. Then I saw on the case Kenya National Examination, it is Katana Aisha Karisa. Is it a mistake or your name changed? If it changed, do you have affidavit attached to it? Maybe you can clarify.
Aisha?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me start with the last one from Honorable Caleb Hamis. Yes, I converted to a Christian, and I'm Aisha. Aisha is a Muslim name. I was a Muslim. My name was Aisha Abdallah. Yeah, when I was at the yeah, just know I converted, and now I'm a Christian, a strong believer. Yes, and I don't have an affidavit on that. I converted. It's about faith. So I'm Aisha. I'm a Muslim by name, a Christian by faith. Yes, on early pregnancies, Mheshimiwa Wanyonyi. Yes, it is really an issue, because going by the statistics is that 20% of all pregnancies in this country is teenage pregnancies. And I think it has reached a time, as what Mheshimiwa Leisuda has said, that we engage more to the users. We engage more to the users, because these are the best people to know that yes, it is good to have it, but when you have it at the right time, it's sweeter than have it before time. So I think engagement will be of. Huh?
Just ignore them.
Oh,
Mr. Chair.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Fernand, you are out of order. What are you gesturing at the nominee?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You are making the ladies feel like you are bullying the lady. Let's just give her time and the decorum that we have accorded all other nominees who appeared before us.
Perhaps it's because I was their colleague. Yes, Mr. Chairman, as I was responding to Mheshimiwa Wanyonyi, I was saying that engagement on the community, at the community level, families, and our work spaces will be on men more than the girls, because these are the users, Mr. Chairman. And I was telling Mheshimiwa Wanyonyi that it is good to make sure that these men are educated, to making sure that are also helping us to discuss these matters freely during family meetings and always perhaps in church, to making sure that the girl child is protected, and getting into all these issues at the right time. And I want to say that I will make sure, if given the opportunity, that I will not be a person and always in office, but always on the ground. So I'll lead it myself from the front to making sure that things are happening.
Have you answered Naisula and Amisi?
Yes.
You have. Yes.
I wanted to seek clarification on the issue of the this wealth, the net wealth, your worth. You said 100 million, but you don't give us details of what the 100 million. No, you have been a member of parliament for 2 terms. Mortgage alone is 40 million. I can help you. Car grant was 50 million. So what is can give us, the 100 million is for what and which land, which thing?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think for Mheshimiwa Junet, yes, I was a member for parliament for 2 terms. And whatever I was getting, I think it was for my consumption. And
Honorable Aisha, what he's asking is not an unfair question. You are worth 100.
Yes.
A plot, 10 million, a house, 30 million, something else, 20 million.
I was coming to that.
So if you have that tabulation, that's what he's asking.
Okay. So I'm worth 100 million. I have a house in Malindi and in Nairobi. Those 2 combined, 85 million, and the rest are side hustles. I'm a hustler.
Yeah, I know, but what is the side hustle you're doing?
There might be so many things, Junet. Side hustles, I mean.
No, you see, Madam, see as nominee, the figure that you've given is on record.
Yes.
We have shared with the committee, you have attached it to your documents. So it is good for you to clarify that the house in Malindi and the one in Nairobi are 85. The other 15 is what? Is it a motorcycle? Because hustlers use motorcycle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I have a car too, and the rest was my salaries, which I stopped earning on September.
What you'll do, Aisha, is if your tabulation is not complete, you will complete it and forward to the Secretariat.
Thank you, Mr.
The value of your house in Nairobi, the house in Malindi, the motorcycle, the car, and whatever else that you have, you can put them together. Let's take the last batch.
Yeah, but having known each other for long, will I be in order to tell her that I know maybe she has forgotten? The figure might be higher than that. We have known each other.
You know, Honorable Junet, if you you want to declare interest, there is a proper way of doing so. Gikaria, who has not had an opportunity to ask any question to the nominee.
Asante mwenyekiti. Unajua mwenyekiti, tulipoanza maneno haya ilikuwa ni maneno ambayo ilikuwa tunafikiria ni mambo makubwa sana, lakini kutokana na historia ambayo nimesikia kutoka kwa dada yangu inaanza kunipatia picture nyingine ambaye kule nje watu wanatazama kwa runinga, wanasikiza kwa redio na wanaanza kuangalia Kenya kwa njia tofauti. Sio mambo tu ya kuja hapa na kusema vile mambo yake makubwa. Historia ya mtu inaanza kupatia wale wako kule chini. Na nasema hivi kwa sababu mwenyekiti, watoto wengi wamejiua kwa sababu ya wazazi kuwagomanisha kutokana na pengine matokeo ya shule ama mambo mengine ama yale mengine. Pengine dada yangu Aisha Jumwa, ni encouragement gani unaweza patia wale watoto ambaye wanakutazama sasa, pengine wanatusikiza, ama wazazi wale wazazi ambaye hayo mazoea ya kupenda kugombanisha watoto wao kwa sababu ya vitu, pengine hata mtoto anataka kucheza mpira lakini unakuta na swali ni kwamba ni nini watu wanaweza wale watu wako pale nje nini wanaweza kujifunza kutoka kwako?
Yes, what is out of
Chair, I was not intending to interrupt my colleague, but Chair, the nominee that is before us here through you has just come here purely for vetting purposes. We have not come here to seek any advice from her, any opinion from her, and anything that is. She's not a motivational speaker.
Can you respond to Gikaria's comment?
Asante sana Mr. Chairman. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Gikaria. Nataka kusema ya kwamba niliyopitia mimi yanapitiwa na watu wengi. Na nitakapopata nafasi hii kwa sababu nikiwa mjumbe tayari nimeshasema ya kwamba kuna yale mambo ambayo nimeshayafanya ili kuhakikisha kwamba mtoto wa kisichana hapotezi dira ama ndoto yake, ila ana mtu wa kuweza kumshika mkono na kuhakikisha ya kwamba maisha yake yanaendelea na ndoto yake inatimia kama alivyotarajia. Nikisema hivyo ni kwamba katika manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza nafikiri kuna kipengele kizima cha kwamba serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ina mpango na mikakati ya kurudisha mtoto wa shule, mtoto wa ambaye alitoka katika masomo kwa njia moja ama nyingine, kuhakikisha kwamba masomo yake yamefadhiliwa na amerudi shule na ndoto yake imetimia. Kwa hivyo katika mipango na manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza, hiyo mipango iko, na sisi mimi nitakapopata nafasi kama mmoja katika wizara na sheria inavyosema kwamba sisi pia ni wasaidizi wa rais kama mawaziri, basi mikakati hiyo mimi nitaivalia njuga kuhakikisha kwamba wasichana wengi wamepata fursa ya kufika kama mahali mimi nilipofika na hata zaidi ya mimi.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Aisha. Wacha mimi pia nikuulize swali moja au mbili. Mimi nakubaliana na harakati za kuinua nafasi ya mtoto msichana. Mimi ni baba wa watoto wasichana na watoto wavulana, na nazingatia umuhimu ya wale watoto kuwa treated sawa sawa. Lakini mara mingi nikienda huko nje, hasa hata kwa kanisa langu, ukienda kwa shule, wakati huu ni kama mtoto mvulana amesahauliwa. Ukienda kwa kanisa langu la Katoliki, wale watoto wanaoimbia waumini, utaona kama watoto ni 20, kama 16, 17 ni wasichana wachangamuvu. Kuna vijana 2 au 3 wanyonge, wanaonekana hawana furaha. Na hii inaendelea kila mahali, hata ukienda kwa shule walimu wakileta watoto mbele kuchezea wageni, wanatangulisha wasichana, vijana wanawekwa kando, wanaonekana wamevaa vibaya, ni wanyonge. Na hii jambo linaendelea pia kutatanisha, kwa sababu tukimuinua msichana tusimteremshe mvulana. Nataka tuwe na maisha ambayo watoto wetu wanaenda sambamba katika kila njia ya kimasomo, ya kifamilia, na kwa kila njia ambayo tunawatreat watoto wetu. Wewe katika nafasi yako utazingatia harakati zipi za kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunapomuinua mtoto msichana hatumfinyilii mvulana ili aendelee kuwa mnyonge mbele ya msichana?
Asante. Yeah, you have never asked in Swahili before. You never asked in Swahili your questions. I don't know why today.
Kiswahili and English are both official languages.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti. Mimi nataka kusema ya kwamba ulivyosema ni kweli, labda by nature msichana anaonekana kuwa mtoto mdhaifu, na ndio maana labda katika kumulikwa sana anamulikwa mtoto msichana. Lakini ni kweli saa hizi kuna statistics ni Kiswahili zinasema takwimu zinaonyesha ya kwamba ni kweli mtoto wa kivulana ameanza kuwa mdhaifu mbele ya mtoto wa kike. Na mimi kama nikipata nafasi hii kama waziri wa jinsia na mambo ya affirmative action ndio kusemaje Kiswahili, nitahakikisha ya kwamba sheria zote tutakazotengeneza ama policies tutakazo kuweka zitalinda mtoto wa kisichana na mtoto wa kivulana. Wote watapata haki sawa mbele ya sheria. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme mwenyekiti, Wizara ya Utumishi wa Umma na masuala ya kijinsia itakuwa imepata mama ambaye pia katika njia moja ama nyingine ni mlezi. Kwa hivyo mtoto wa kiume atapata haki yake, kila wakati kulingana na mujibu wa sheria. Asante sana.
Thank you, Honorable Aisha. Mary Mase.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have to ask one question to the nominee. It's been asked by one of my constituents. If you are successful nominee for public service, there are ladies who are discriminated against, especially in the private sector. When they go for maternity leave, when the time to resume, they are sacked. That becomes the end of their jobs. They are asking, what are you going to do to protect them, the ladies? Some are even discriminated when it comes to recruitment. The boy child is preferred. They get those positions as opposed to the ladies. So how are you going to protect them?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I have just put it, you've had the Honorable Chairman saying that there is discrimination, that is the boy child is not given a lot of attention. And again, Mary, as well, you are saying the girl child. So as I've said, we only, laws are made for, not for, laws should not be applied selectively, but to serve all parties. So I think, Mheshimiwa Mary Emase, on your question on people who are being discriminated on public, on private sectors, still, I think it's a matter of the law to be enforced. And I want to commit, if given the opportunity, that will be looked into. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Aisha, your time is up now. We want to give you 3 minutes, dakika tatu, to tell us your wish and your desire from this committee, following the engagement that you have had with the honorable members. Sasa wakati ni wako. You can speak in English, you can speak in Swahili. 3 minutes.
Asante sana mwenyekiti. Mimi nataka niseme na washukuru nyote kwa kunipa nafasi hii kukaa mbele yenu kwa ajili ya majadiliano haya ambayo tumekuwa nayo. Nataka niahidi na nataka niombe ya kwamba nilivyo mbele yenu munifikirie na munipe nafasi hii ya kuwatumikia Wakenya katika wizara ya mambo ya utumishi wa umma, jinsia and affirmative action. Mtakapo nifikiria na kunipa nafasi hii, nitarudi tena bungeni kwa sababu ni lazima nifanye kazi na nyinyi kwa karibu sana ili tuweze kuwa na sheria ambazo zitaweza kuwafaa Wakenya, hasa sana kutoka wizara nitakayokuwa nimesimamia. Asanteni sana na naomba ombi langu lifikiriwe.
As we release you, remember to give your documents to the Secretariat through the clerk. Sergeant at Arms, you can usher out the nominee and bring in the Honorable Moses Kuria. Yes. Is it David Chirichiri first? Sorry. Sergeant, it is David Chirichiri before Moses Kuria.
You will need the 2/3 very
Utahitaji huko mbele. Utahitaji 2/3. Utakuja kuhitaji. Kule tunapokwenda.